Hi, Roger Brooks. Thanks for joining us today, fellow job forum panelist.
So good to be with you today. Thank you.
Yes, so we're talking job hunt tips. What do you got for us today?
Okay, well, let's try to keep it very simple and short. The first thing and most important by far is the preparation and setting your objectives. Don't jump right into a resume. Don't put the cart before the horse. And the key components to that really are near-term planning, a critical self-assessment, and that's really going to vary a lot. If you're just going to move on to the next job or something better, you may have your objectives already set. But at the other extreme are people who are doing a career change. That really requires a lot of homework and effort. So once you get that through that whole process, then you're in a position where you can develop your resume. And really think of your resume as kind of two types. One is sort of a generic version that you put together based on your homework and setting your objectives. And that includes targeting the kind of company you want to work for, the company size, culture, that kind of thing. And then as you start your job search, you will see individual opportunities. And there, for each of those opportunities, you need to tailor your resume to beg, borrow, and steal from those job requirements. So look at those job requirements, and those should be, you should have bullet points on your resume that talk to each one of those, maybe the 3 or 4 most important ones that demonstrates your accomplishments, preferably quantifiable, that address those critical job requirements.
And when tailoring your resume, how important is it to know a bit about the company maybe that you're applying to?
So do the research on the company, not just on the job, but the company itself. And really make sure that you have very good, thoughtful questions. Having been a hiring manager, that shows me that you do have 2 things. One, you have a lot of interest in my company. And number 2, you do because you've clearly spent a lot of time researching my company. That could be a difference maker. Because when people get to that final round, everybody's qualified. The hiring manager says, who's going to be the best fit here? And a lot of things go into that. And that kind of upfront preparation and interest and enthusiasm is key. I remember I got hired for one job and VP of marketing said, well, the reason we hired Roger is that he was really enthusiastic about joining the company, legitimately so. So these are small but very important difference makers. And then the final thing I would say is you have to network. And that kind of you never stop. And that not just now with the COVID-19, but just ongoing. And much of your networking should be online and through LinkedIn. Join the groups that are part of your industry and your area of some interest and participate in those. So networking is key. And some people say that 80% of all jobs that are filled aren't even posted. So networking is so critical to get a contact in that company rather than just sending out a blind resume.
Good point, all of them.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, so when you're contacting a particular person, is that something that goes with the cover letter? Don't just write generic, write to a person. You find a person in the company?
Yeah, glad you raised that, the cover letter. The cover letter should be separate and distinct from the resume. Don't repeat. And one piece of advice that I got quite a while ago was, as part of your research on a company, in that cover letter, which will be very short with maybe 2 or 3 bullet points, mention what you would do to help that company as it relates to the job that you're applying for. So, well, in my opinion, I think that if I got this job, a couple of things that I would think about doing that I think could help increase sales or whatever it might be, would be these 1 or 2 things. Can't tell you how impressive that is.
Good little tips that really mean a lot. I appreciate it so much, Roger. That's about the time we have today. So
well,
thank
very
you
good.
so much. And hopefully I'll see you in person soon.
I hope so too. And good luck to everybody out there as they look for their next best job.
Thank you. I'm sure they appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much. All right, bye-bye now.
Bye.